Alright, how we doing? Kanzi here, bringing you episode 19 of Kenshi, Age of Blood and Sand, Iron Man playthrough. We're just going to start this episode off with a little bit of housekeeping. So what we need to do is we need to start our power production, and then we're also going to need to find a way to store that power because we're working on wind energy, which isn't particularly reliable, but if we've got batteries it won't matter. Got some starving bandits just sort of rocking through. Thankfully it's not one of those hordes of like 200. Just be a nice little bit of practice for my hives, so not a massive issue. They're just going to get taken out pretty quick, and I'm not really in the mood after they ambushed Ray in the other episode to pay them off. So I'm just gonna go and kill them. I think it's the only merciful thing that we can do for them right now, because we're just such a caring and compassionate group of hivers, where every life is important. Yeah, no, it's not a thing. You're expendable. It's Kenshi. Right, so we just headed back over to the Holy Mine. There was a few resources I left behind here from the last episode. We're just going to go and try to take anything that's worth value. And then one of our main bits is we're looking for electrical components. These electrical components will allow us to start up one or two of the small wind generators, which are going to be super useful because that means we're going to be able to get some smithing on the way. We will need more because I do not have enough, which brings me to my next point. We need to start looking into getting copper production underway. So I'm going to need to get some more hives so we can start some mining, and then we can start smelting that copper down so we can look into building electrical components, because right now we do not have any. So we're not in a bad state, but we are limited in what we can do. And from the amount of limbs we're losing, we need to start our own limb production as soon as possible, because running over to the Black Desert and then running back isn't difficult, but a couple bad encounters, and as we saw, we nearly lost Lidus in the last episode, and that is not something I want. That seems like a really, really bad time if you ask me. Tidied up those triangle bandits pretty quickly, which I'm happy about. Nice to see that my hives are slowly getting better, and they're not in any state right now where they can hold their own, but they are definitely getting better than they were. We are at the robotics place in the Black Desert City. What we're looking for is dread limbs mainly, but any other limbs that we're missing we will take, because you're always going to be better off with limbs than not. I think the dread limbs are the best all-round limb until we can start producing our hyper alloy limbs, but that is a long way away. So the idea right here is we're just going to bait the skeletons that are the guards into other nasties, and hopefully that will force them to de-aggro. It doesn't look like it's going to work, and looks like we've got a slight problem with the navigation mesh at the moment, so for some reason Lidus is running the long way round. Annoying, but an easy fix nonetheless. So yeah, Lidus has gone down. He's nearly out, so I guess you can just go through the top and loop back down. But what we do have is we have a Holy Wrath coming towards our base. So they are coming from Verge. Now this is a horde of Onis, and Onis are hard as nails. They can beat you guys up like super easy, real difficult to take down, and also anyone they capture they will just take back to Verge and just torture them until they die. And there's probably going to be more Onis than I have Hivers, and so that means they can almost take my whole colony and take them back to Verge. And you can't escape either, because they I'm not going to spoil anything, but you're not in a situation where you can escape, which is super annoying, because you could do a breakout attempt or something interesting like that, but not against the Oni. This isn't the wrath of the Onis at the moment, but that is still a large group. One saving grace you have against Onis is that they are super slow. So if you have like an athletics above 18, so 18 miles per hour, you can outrun them fairly happily. Nice thing about Hivers Hivers are rapid. So we're able to outrun the Oni. We're going to have to regroup somewhere else. So yeah, we can regroup. There's not really much of a better term for that. We'll wait until the Wrath of Oni shows up. We'll send one Hiver back to trigger it, and then we'll retreat again, and eventually they'll get bored and the raid will end. So not a massive issue, and it's a fairly safe area where we are, so we don't need to worry too much. Okay, looks like we have just about all the Hivers together, which is pretty spot on. All we're waiting for is Lidus now, and Lidus is coming through the top of the Black Desert, so Lidus is nice and close and he'll be with us in a couple minutes. All we gotta do, wait for the Wrath of the Oni, or Oni's Wrath, or Holy Wrath, whichever one it is called at the moment, and then once that's done, we'll go trigger it, but whilst being nice and far away. They'll get bored, they'll leave, we'll have all the Hivers, bing bang bosh, we head back to the colony, and we just carry on as if nothing happened. So we're on for a winner then, and I cannot complain about that. Okay, so we're going to send Reese down. So the Wrath of the Oni will show up. Reese goes down, sees it, the Wrath of Oni trigger. They run round for a few hours, get bored, leave, and then we don't need to worry about it, because otherwise they will destroy us. Or maybe not, there's only 2 of them. Which is odd, which is really, really odd, there only being 2. Like normally there's like 40, 50 of them. So like 9 impossible to take down. But there's only 2 at the moment, so not a massive issue. I'll just use this as an excuse to get some food, and then we can bring that back to the hives. We should have plenty of food on us, but you can never have too much and it'll just get dropped off. We've sent Ray down to pick Lidus up, because this will be quicker than Lidus just trying to walk, because he's beaten up and he's malnourished. So strength's down, his mobility's down, you know, wouldn't be worth it. And we'll just meet up. Wow, wording, Konzi. We'll just meet back up, have a nice little rendezvous. We'll hand out the limbs that Lidus has to everybody else, so that'll be nice and sorted. Got a couple starving bandits come up yet again. Nothing for us to worry about. Wow, I cannot smack today. And then we'll head back, and it looks like I haven't really checked this area out yet. That's probably why. The matriarch's just in that top corner over there, and she is howled as nails. We need to put down a prosthetics cabinet. The reason for this is so I can just store the prosthetics. Nice and simple. I realised that storage was wrong, so I put impure ore down instead of iron ore, so we'll swap that across. Also set up 2 more of our primitive forges, so we can kick out some more iron plates, which is what we're going to need. We're producing more than we're using at the moment, but having a stockpile of them is never going to be a bad thing, because they are used for so much stuff. You want armoured plates, you need iron plates. You want steel bars, you need iron plates. Do you want copper plates? Well, yeah, then you need iron plates. You need them for just about everything. So the more of those we can get down, the better off we are going to be. But what we will need to do is we will need to look into getting more drones across the board. So that's mainly going to be Hive worker drones and Hive princes. Obviously soldier drones are always going to be nice. So what I think we'll do is we'll head back into the United Cities territory. Once we're in there, we can then start raiding a bunch of slave farms, which will be ideal. Once we're there, we'll just be able to free a bunch of hives. Once those hives are free, well, you know, we can just bring them back to the base, make them run the gauntlet, do their initiations, and that is a holy nation assault. Okay. Well, that snuck up on us again. Every time it just sneaks up on us. I didn't even notice that it pinged up. that were getting attacked. Right. I think we should be okay so long as we can keep the hives somewhat together. If the hives are semi-together, that means Lidus and Ray won't be getting their 5 attack slots filled. Ideally. If they're fighting anything less than, say, 3 guys at the same time, they are just going to cut through them with very little issue. But my hives are dropping pretty quick, which is going to be an issue. Well, clearly is going to be an issue, because the less people I have, the less fighters I have, the more I get outnumbered, and yeah, that will escalate real quickly. But at the moment, Lidus and Ray aren't fighting massive amounts. That's going to be the key. The rest of my soldier drones are doing surprisingly well. They're still up a decent, well, more of them are up than they're down, which is good. I mean, that's really good. That's definitely improvement. Before, wow, it didn't last very long. Tigers is doing all right. Actually, he's doing far better than I thought he would be doing, so I'm quite happy with how Tigers is going. And we've got a friendly come in. Didn't quite see what that was, but yeah, not an issue. That's cool. They're not going to help us a massive amount, has to be said. And now Lidus and Ray are getting overrun. Well, they're not overrun because they'll hold the line. But that's what they're good for. They're pretty tanky, these boys, with good alpha strike. So what I'm going to do is kite into the fights, and then kite out, and then attack in, and then out, and use Lidus' alpha strike to try and get as much damage off as I can, because we can fight straight up. It'll just take a long time, and it's not really what we want. And then the Lidus and Ray will take more damage. The more damage they take, the less effective they'll be in combat. So there is a fair chance they'd be overrun, which, yet again, not ideal. Funny that. Let's try to figure out some sort of strategy here instead of just running around. Yeah, if we can focus down the guys in the orange, so the Holy Chosen, that means we can take their crossbows out of the fight. If we can take their crossbows out of the fight, they're not shooting in. When they shoot in, they've got a chance to do a stun. So if you guys are getting peppered by crossbow bolts and trying to fight, you're not in for a good time. That is a definite thing right there. So we'll try to pick them off one by one, try to take out the weakest first, and then we won't be fighting as many. If we're not fighting as many, we do have a better shot at this. But there is a lot of them though. Thinking what is a good thing that's happening right here is almost everyone is fighting Ray, which is good, because if they're fighting Ray, then they're not on Lidus, and then Lidus can pick them apart bit by bit. But unfortunately, I went a bit too close to the pack, and now there's a group that is that's following us. Just gonna have a little check over my hives, see how they're doing. Not that I'm going to be able to do much. I'm not really going to be able to go out and heal them, because you other guys will just pile in on top, and in that time I'd be better off fighting them than healing. But it looks like so far we're doing okay. Got a few guys I need to watch out for who are on a not dangerously low health at the moment, but lower than I'd want. That is for sure. But it could be worse. This could be a lot worse. This is going okay. Yeah, I mean, okay is the best. Is the best I've got right now. It's not going perfect. It could be going worse. We haven't lost anyone, which is the key point here. We haven't lost any hives, because trying to keep up with the amount of hives I'm losing anyway is annoying, let alone if I lose a bunch from a raid, because all that happens is all the progression we've got just goes back. Yeah, we've got more things built in the base, that's cool, and we're getting more things produced, that's cool as well. But if every time one of my hives gets half okay at something and then gets killed off, then you got to start again, if you get where I'm coming from. So we'll keep it going, keep up the fight, keep moving forward. Lidus isn't fighting too many here, so he should be able to finish this quickly. Ray's going to be able to hold his section for a while longer. He won't be able to hold it indefinitely. He's strong, but he's not invincible. And we just keep pushing forward and hope that this works out. So we seem to be filling out the herd pretty nicely so far. This is taking a while, longer than I thought it would take, but we are getting somewhere now. So it's looking pretty good for us. Can't complain too much. They're surprisingly tough. The Holy Nation are a bit of a meme. Seem to be putting up a pretty decent fight. What we have managed to do is take out the Holy Chosen. So the guys in the orange with the crossbows, they are now out. So we don't need to worry about them. That has thinned out their numbers pretty nicely. So happy with that. Now we're just fighting the slightly tougher and tankier guys. What we'll do is pull them apart bit by bit and try to get them on the Alpha Strike and then disengage before they can fill all the attack slots and just chip away at them. That's the best I can do right now, and hope that we have finished this fight before it's too late and I've lost too many hives. But I guess we will find out soon enough. That is them pretty much done, and now let's see how many hives we have lost. I'm thinking 5 is a reasonable number, so if it's less than 5 I will be more than okay with that. If it's over 5, well, it's one of those. Were you running hives? Yes. Were they armoured? No. Were they armed? No. Were they trained? No. Were they outnumbered? Yes. Don't expect miracles, don't expect them to survive. This was my fault. It's the Holy Nation's fault for attacking me. Why do they have to be so xenophobic? But okay, so it's looking like it's more than 5. And that's my smiths down as well. So that's Emmett and Smith, who are my weaponsmith and armour smith. They're out now, so going to need to get new smiths to train. Well, to start training to be able to make equipment, and that's also a lot of my labour corps down. Looking like we've only lost 1 soldier drone, so that is pretty good. That means next fight they're going to be stronger, they're going to be tougher, they're going to be better, so we won't incur as many losses, and we're just going to need to go out and recruit more hives. But I think it'd be a good time to quote Confucius: "Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising up every time we do." And I think that's a fair point, because we won't stay down from this. We will get back up, we will rise again, and we are going to go and kill each and every one of those Holy Nation monsters that have done this. We'll start with their small towns, work our way across, take out the Inquisitors, and then they will fall. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is a good time to finish the episode whilst I'm just healing everyone up and scavenging through the corpses. So thank you for watching episode 19 of Kenshi Age of Blood and Sand. I have been Konzi, and I will catch you on the next one.